What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 330. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trev.
And I'm here with Adam.
Mhm.
I should have said I'm here with Sniffin.
I was trying to come up with a Temple of Doom reference, man, and it fell flat, dude. I thought I was going to be able to go,
And we're
heavy
eating our
hitting
heart
on
out
all
with
of them. Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
And we're not Liberace,
How, over the top. Boy, you can tell that it's got that Steven Spielberg shit going on,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
from the get-go.
Well, how, this Temple of Doom has got to be Sam Raimi's favorite movie.
Oh. I
You
see
know what I'm saying?
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of how dark, how the imagery is, how it would do that push tilt thing. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, did fucking Raimi fucking produce this shit or something? But absolutely, the whole time I was watching it, and it's dark. It's really fucking dark,
Extremely dark. That's one thing about these revisits, at least with these two so far, is I forgot how dark Indiana Jones can get.
Yeah. And a little bit racist. Just a little bit. Like a 1984 does.
Short
Come on.
round, yeah.
The whole thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot, whenever Harrison Ford drank the Kool-Aid
Mhm.
and he's on stage and he's doing that thing with his lip, he's like, I gotta be different.
Yeah.
Some exquisite acting on his part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
Oh yeah.
whenever they would come across the people that wanted their stone back and everybody, I'm like, why are they voicing all these people over? Dude, you could clearly see the spots where they voiced over.
Yeah.
The woman and Harrison Ford, when they're on the floor crawling, at one point he says something, his mouth doesn't even move. I'm like, they just threw that in there.
The sound editor just wasn't up to snuff that day.
Well, it made sense in the scene. He didn't say that.
So, personally, it's all downhill since last week for me. Raiders of the Lost Ark was my favorite Indiana Jones movie. But that being said, though, all sentimentality aside, I think this was the better movie, though.
Definitely had more money.
Well, it had a lot more going on.
Action packed, dude.
Oh yeah, and it just thrusts you right into the in the thick of it.
It's a very interesting way of, because it felt like, compared to other sequels, like most of the time whenever you have a sequel like Star Wars, for example, whenever Empire comes around, kind of get a little catching up sequence, and all this stuff's happening. This is like, we're in Shanghai.
Yeah.
It just goes from, so it's almost set up like a TV show, if that makes sense, where it's like, this is rolling straight into the next episode of the TV show. There's no catching up. There's no him at college or anything like that. Him as the professor. It's just wham, bam, 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 bam. He's from one screwed up situation into another.
And some time has passed. They actually give you a year at one point. Was it 1935?
Yeah, 36.
36. So it was around in there.
Yeah, to add to what Griff was saying, how it's just one situation after the other. The opening sequence, I just remember, I was just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It goes from nightclub deal gone south to plane with no pilots and no parachutes to falling down an inflatable raft, going down the snow. It deflates midair.
Dude, that raft shit. Come on.
I mean,
yeah.
How far did that fall? In my mind, when I was a kid, it wasn't that far.
Well, when you think about it now, people flipping out over the nuke thing from Crystal Skull, kind of seems mute.
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, Indiana Jones has always had that level of ham to it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just adventure. Don't question it.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And
But
it's
I
like,
oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead, man. You're good.
I was just saying that like this movie, going back with like obviously it had a bigger budget because of the success of
Way
Raiders.
more.
Uh, I would say Temple of Doom is how you go bigger and better without shooting yourself in the foot in the process.
Yeah.
Like that's how to do that angle right, I guess, you know.
Right. It is. It's a very interesting sequel. It's a very interesting story in Indiana Jones lore because there's no, in Raiders, they show up and they're like Ark of the Covenant, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm even in the Last Crusade. It's like, they're trying to get to the I can't think of what it's called, but like there's a setup for
Holy
everything.
Grail.
Yeah, the Holy Grail. Yeah. So there's a setup for everything. In this, it's like the setup is there when they wind up at the village, but it's
Yeah.
not like your traditional like adventure setup plot. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, it gets very mystical
Well,
Yes.
the way that it
because it's
opens, he's just like,
yeah,
Where's
because
the diamond?" It's
well
like, what
where
happened? I missed something.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like um when he goes to the village and that he's talking to everyone and he's accepting the quest from the quest giver. Um she she explains to him that like oh what was it?
That dude looked wild in HD too.
Yeah.
Why is everybody's eyes
Right.
so red? That's what I want to know.
Because it's hot. It's so hot, dude.
Because we live in a hut, motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I get it.
I
But
mean, they're sacrifices, hearts ripping out,
oh yeah, well
child
like
child
yeah, so
labor.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
So
Well,
Uh, but the way the guy was explaining the village elder is explaining to him, he's like, no, the plane brought you here. Like right from the rip, they're talking about like they're going straight religious with it,
Right.
or spiritual, I guess that's the more proper word.
you were summoned by the
But
stone.
so like very very fate heavy things, and it's almost like it's a way to be like this is like it kind of it casts the plot armor in a very cheeky, clever way. Like you're going to make it because like you've already been brought here by whatever our god is. And even at the end when he's fighting dude on the cliffside, he's all like, "Hey, weird gibberish," and the stones
Yeah.
start burning.
No
Um,
subtitles.
Mm-mm.
yeah, and
Even if you
so
turn them on, there's nothing there.
so it wanes heavy on the mysticism around that stuff. And it kind of, like classic movie writing, man. You put a lot of the ending at the beginning. And so, like, a lot of it was very much just, him obviously surviving those situations.
It was actually the
Yeah.
Shaman's last movie.
Really?
Yeah, he died in 1989.
Oh wow.
He's been in a bunch of movies. He was born in 1915, so
He's seen
that's why
some
his
world.
eyes are red.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an old motherfucker.
Little Dan Aykroyd cameo when you
Yeah.
get to the plane.
Oh, you can hear. Oh, you can distinguish his voice a mile away.
Yeah.
He's like, they got Callahan brakes on them, you know?
So here's an interesting note about the movie, according to Wikipedia. It says, not wishing to feature the Nazis as the villains again, executive producer and story writer George Lucas decided to regard this film as a prequel. 3 plot devices were rejected before Lucas wrote a film treatment that resembled the final storyline. As Kasdan, his collaborator on Raiders, turned down the offer to write the script, so that's why we got the other 2 on there. Because I was looking for Kasdan, I was like, "Is this a Lawrence Kasdan joint?" Um, and it ended up those people actually worked with Lucas on
Oh,
American Graffiti.
Right.
it is a
So
prequel. Raiders takes place in 1936. This one takes place in 1935. Where the fuck is Short Round?
Exactly.
I don't like that because, dude,
Big
how happy are
plot
you when you
hole.
see Short Round?
Oh, every single time,
So
dude.
happy.
Dr.
You
Jones.
told me to lean against the wall.
That's my kid's like spirit animal.
Yeah.
Short Round. Hanging out with Indiana
Um,
Jones, playing
Yeah.
cards.
Wearing a fucking Yankees cap, dude.
It dropped on May 23rd in '84, and it was the highest grossing film of that year.
No doubt.
I mean,
I don't know if these numbers are adjusted for inflation and stuff like that, but it had a $28.17 million budget. Guess what it made at the box office?
250 million.
I'm gonna say 150.
A whopping $333 million.
That's pretty
Jesus
big for that time.
Christ. Yeah.
Like
Makes
I said,
sense though, dude.
I don't know if the page is updated to count for modern times, but I mean to go from to take $25 and make $300,
Yeah.
you did
That's why
good.
they're still making them.
Right. Yeah, that's why
They
Ford's
did it.
like you're.
That first
like,
one did
"Look."
well too. It was like around 150 that it made back, and that's big.
Let me just for posterity.
Run it through the inflation calculator.
Well, let me go to. I'm just gonna go see what Raiders made. I don't even think we talked about it. So, it had a 20 million budget. So it went from 20 to, so they gave them $8 million more to make the sequel. So $20 million budget. Take a guess what the box office was.
Well, I said a second ago, I think it was around 150.
Box
Ish.
office. All right. What about you, Griff?
Maybe 160 something, but it was
Yeah,
in that range.
125, I don't know.
Nah, bro. $389 million.
Damn.
Jesus.
Now, okay, so it's got a little note right here. It says this figure represents the cumulative total accounting for the initial worldwide 1981 box office gross and subsequent releases thereafter. So it does count for the re-put in, like, oh, it's been 20 years. We're going to run it through the theaters again. So this is gross. I mean, so still, you guys are probably right. Or I think that first number, yeah, around that 150, 200.
But still, that's bank.
That's impressive as fuck, dude.
Yeah, right.
Indy.
Dude, Short Round, man. Like, just so, like, even now, does not, as a character, does not get on your nerves.
No.
Like most
Just like that guy.
kid. Yeah, yeah. The chick, whoa.
I like the other chick better.
I do too.
I just like her eyes, really, but
Well,
this one just screams too much.
Well, and I think it's funny to see how Indy reacts to her overreaction.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of done so spot on because it was just like, okay, like she's being over dramatic in this situation,
Total diva.
and he's just like, they're over there playing cards while she's freaking the fuck out, arguing. You know what I mean? He's arguing with a 5-year-old about cards. It's just like, this is genius, though, man.
Well, it makes you happy to see, because that after this movie, he did a little bit, but didn't, it didn't really pan out. But now he's made a comeback.
Yeah.
Happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I agree with where he's coming from on that. Like, they didn't really, he only did the part that was available for him, especially at the time. And y'all have heard his story. Like, they were broke.
Yeah.
Came from nothing, living in one bedroom.
Yeah. But he is just killing it, man.
That scene where they're in the bug room. And then they go through and they're having the whole, and then like, oh, he's got to get his hat.
Even for, oh yeah, right. Anytime you see that hat leave him, you're like, he's going to get that hat.
Oh, he's grabbing it. I almost took his arm off too. But I think this is where I get my love of mine cards.
Yeah, right.
I think it comes from this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
Such a
seeing this one more.
Yeah, this one seemed
a
to
lot
get
more.
more. Well, and honestly, I get why. Like, it's just it thrusts you into
Especially
the
if you're a
story.
kid.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is the movie that got a ride for it, you know.
But while I was sitting there watching it, I could remember places that I was at when I saw it. You know, I remember
Yeah.
being somewhere one time and seeing it, and I was just like, damn. Mr. Jones.
I mean, a lot of people cite this as their least favorite, and I don't
Really?
understand why. Yeah,
Well, here's my thing. I can see why,
yeah,
because people want, people always seem so 50-50 when it comes to exposition, because this movie doesn't give a lot. The most we really get out of what we're seeing is when they're observing that ritual.
hmm
Not a big lore dump in this movie.
no,
And a lot of people want just enough so that they don't feel like, like they don't like so that they can understand what the movie's working with. And then there's the other crowd of movie watcher that's like, I don't want to sit here and hear a fucking story, or I don't want to, like, thousands of years ago. Like, they don't like that shit and they think it's stupid or really on the nose, and I guess the execution of it really, where it's like, oh, you don't know about blah blah blah. Yeah, well, fucking, we got 10 minutes to kill for this movie. Let's talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And this movie doesn't have a lot of, like, hardly any exposition. I mean, it does, but it's only when needed. And for the
Yeah.
most part, like we've been kind of echoing throughout the episode, is just, it's just you're literally along for the ride.
Well, and it's not the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. It's not something that like any Tom, Dick, and Harry that's paid attention to any of these lost treasures is gonna. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
these stones. It's these mystical stones, and if they're combined together, and there's like voodoo witchcrafts and all this kind of stuff going on, it's just I think that sucks a lot of people out of it. And it's like, no, that's the more interesting thing, because like when I think of like adventures and people going on adventures and things like this, in any type of medium, I think of like them stumbling into a situation that they fully don't understand or grasp,
Mhm.
and them trying to figure their way through it because of this movie. Like Indiana Jones kind of had an idea of what the stones were and what they could be used for, this,
Yeah,
that, and
they
the other.
told him
But like,
enough.
Oh, he was
yeah,
down to watch, dude.
This is you just got to be
yeah,
down for the ride.
exactly.
Just
But he stumbled his way through the whole situation.
yeah, he's like Doctor Who, dude. He just fucking
Yeah,
he
he
ain't got a
is.
plan.
He's like American Doctor Who,
He's
dude.
like, I'll just smile at him
Yeah, yeah,
and almost get laid again, but not. It's like, dude, slay already.
yeah. Right. Short round, cover your eyes.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones.
And I mean, I totally like. I like the idea that it wasn't just, oh, the Nazis again,
Oh yeah,
because we get plenty of that. And I mean, it only seems natural that if he's a seeker of, like, relics that have a cult, like, mythos to it, naturally I get why in that time period that's what his main competition would be. But like, I did enjoy the fact that it was just a whole different scenario. Raiders laid the groundwork. He's an archaeologist. He gets into some crazy ass shit. Here's some more crazy ass shit,
yeah. He got mind controlled, dude. I mean,
And once again, I'm baffled by how brutal Indiana Jones is.
yeah,
Like, maybe because I was just a stupid kid, like we all were at one point. But there were moments I'm watching this going, I watched this as a kid.
yeah.
different time.
Yeah.
We was watching Pet Cemetery.
But and
You know.
also though, it's like you all right, this is going to spiral into another a whole different topic, but it's like people have felt for a long time that like Looney Tunes and the cartoonic violence was detrimental to childhood development, right? And me living and experiencing it feels the opposite about it because I'm able to compartmentalize of what is like cartoony or move quote unquote movie violence from like real life and real world violence. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So it's the idea of like we watch cartoons where these two characters beat the shit out of each other and do all this crazy stuff to each other. And then we were watching Indiana Jones and Jaws and
Yeah.
the Abyss and Fire in the Sky and all
Well,
this other crazy shit growing up. And it's like
well,
we were
well,
taught by our parents like this is a movie.
Yeah.
This is not real.
yeah. Well, like the through that whole conversating with parents and that dialogue of like, okay, this is just a movie. Don't worry. Like, there's no such thing as boogeyman. Like little stuff like that when you're a kid, or a video game where, you're playing a character that shoots a spear chain out of his hand and can drag your enemy to him, and it's bloody as hell. Like, understanding that type of thing, it's like we know that the minute we sit down to watch a movie, us and a lot of generations before, and even some of the younger people now, but sadly not as much. The minute you sit down to watch a movie, the disconnect of reality is already there and established.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, unless it's like, obvious like stuff like documentaries, news, whatever. But as far as like a feature length film, no matter how dramatic you want to make it or whatever, you open up your eyes to whatever the movie maker wants to do. Like, if he
Mhm.
wants to make something that's tried and true for an hour and a half and it's just good old wholesome something, and then a fucking spaceship shows up and fucking just blows the damn town up. Yeah, am I making any kind of sense, really? Like,
Yeah.
well, like, it's
Oh yeah.
that disconnect, and it's like now, present time, that we've had motion pictures for so even longer now than them being around a long time when we started growing up watching them. That it's just a combination of that and attention spans, maybe. I don't know. Attention spans. I think I said that way.
Well, I mean, it's that idea of like when me and my brothers were watching cartoons and you see Tom and Jerry, hit each other with baseball bats, and then, one of us thought it would be funny to hit one of the other one of us with a baseball bat, and we got in so much fucking trouble.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fucking cartoon's fault that we did that. It wasn't blamed on the cartoon. There
Nah.
wasn't this whole weird like we've got to erase this off the face of the planet mentality. It's like no, stupid kids were being stupid and their parents had to have a conversation with them regardless of how awkward it may fucking be. Having a conversation with your fucking child that this is not okay,
No.
so it's just anyway. It's just weird, man. And going back and watching this, it's like, and a lot of stuff that we watched on the pod that we've watched growing up, it's like, wow, this is way more violent than I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, because of everything, have we been somewhat desensitized growing up, and then now we're like, okay, like now we can fully realize it since we're kind of watching the movie from a study aspect as opposed to an entertainment aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird dynamic because if I put on Temple of Doom in the background and I was doing some stuff around the house, I wouldn't think twice about it. But watching it for podcast because I know I'm going to talk about it, sitting there thinking like they ripped that dude's heart out and then burned him alive,
Mm-hmm.
and then the heart caught on fire
And the
while
dude
it was
just
beating
held
in
it.
while
Well,
it was beating in that dude's hand. Like, what?
Well, I think it speaks to, or at least it shines a light on an unspoken thing that it's one of those like, didn't we agree? You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like this understood thing in the human psyche that violence is peak entertainment to us.
Hmm.
Like, you can watch a drag race and get a thrill out of it, and then you can turn right around and watch a video of somebody getting straight fucking decked. You're probably going to rewind that hit a lot more than that dude gapping that guy on the strip, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, some of the biggest industries we have in entertainment is the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting like people just beating the shit out of each
Yeah.
other. Like, we wage war. I mean, without getting too hippie with it, you know. I mean, from war to championing a cause, like, man, like, we love getting in a scrap. We love watching scraps. We love taping scraps. I mean, dude, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's all about being able to understand like reality from fiction and being able to not take fiction so seriously to let it influence yourself, your immediate reality, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's definitely been a small dip in that.
But yeah, I enjoyed rewatching. And Temple of Doom was always one of those that I watched a decent amount growing up. And when people's like, didn't really like that one, I'm like, what is there not to like? I
I don't
never
get
got
that.
it. No. But here's what I want to see: Indiana Jones and the search for the Necronomicon.
That would be cool.
That would be
Dude,
the
Indiana
greatest.
Jones and the Cabin in the Woods.
He's like, Miriam,
yeah.
we're
He's
short
like, I'm
round.
looking for the Necronomicon. If you believe in stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, right. It's like, okay.
Ash steps out of the woods. Who the hell are you? I was thinking the same thing, Ace. Like they both kind of give each other that charismatic one-liner.
I think that if you got those two characters together, the world would stop.
You'd have to
It's
show it in 2 different theaters at the same time.
yeah, yeah. It's like that 68 music video
Yeah.
where you have to
Like
layer
that.
them on
Yeah.
top of each. Yeah. I'm,
IMAX wouldn't be good enough to use to
Now
film
you'd
it.
have to use the Sphere in Las Vegas.
oh God. I'd be all right with that.
You'd have to film it with an actual human eye,
I
like cyborg the fuck out on a thing.
heard Cameron's working on that technology. I'm giving it a full star. I loved it, dude.
Pull
I don't
star.
think it's I don't think it's as good as Raiders. And for the longest time, Last Crusade was my absolute favorite. I'm wondering how I'm gonna feel about it coming back up on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm it's 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 right below Raiders, but like only like one notch. You know what I mean? It's like one half step down. So that's where I'm at with it. Full star.
Full star.
Yeah, same man. Obviously, I mean we can pretty much all agree that even Last Crusade's going to get a full star from us. Um, but I think like I'm right there with Griffin, man. Raiders to me is definitive Indiana Jones. But personally, I do think that in terms of just like movie making, I think Spielberg was able to one up himself like on a technical level with Temple of Doom. And it is in that regards but like I feel like he made a superior movie, but it wasn't a superior story, you know?
Yeah.
You could tell that most of it was shot on a soundstage. Like they've had to build
Oh yeah.
all that out.
It was great though, you know.
Yeah, good filmmaker.
Loved it. Yeah. So Ahsoka.
The plot thickens.
Ahsoka.
I mean, well, I don't know. Like, the whole thing with Anakin, uh, like I've been trying to wrap my head around like what the fuck is going on.
Hmm.
Because what I know, what little I know about where she's at, apparently, like that's not the first time she's been there. Um, like in Rebels, they go there at some point,
Yeah.
but that's like a. I don't think it's time travel, and I don't think it's multiverse, but I think it's like a hub, I guess, like in between life and death, I guess.
Well, it's kind of like that shit in um one of the Ray movies where she like when she went in that cave and there was those mirrors and it was like
Yeah.
it kind of had that feeling to it. You know what I mean?
Well, my thing is that like that Anakin is not a Force ghost.
Yeah.
That's weird. So like I'm like thinking like it's got me scratching my head, which is the first time Star Wars has done that in quite a while.
I think they're just gonna chalk it up to like her force dreaming.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that might be the case, either that or because if I'm not mistaken, a certain content creator did a certain video about this exact moment. And this apparently this little area where she's at, this is the area that if you want to undo the sequel trilogy, this is the place to do it and keep like that can be that happened, but then by the time you watch Ahsoka, it's like, oh wait, what? So
Hmm.
I don't know. But I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to go that far off the rails. I think it's absolutely what you said it is, Griff. It's probably going to be a thing where she talks to Anakin, they get to have some weird little closure fucking thing, and
And
then
she
she
wakes up
wakes
on the
up.
beach,
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
she's a badass and
washed
she's
up.
at one with herself, you know.
Cue
Yeah.
the fucking Mando music.
Yeah. Will you?
Dude, if Thrawn rolls up at some point in the season, because I kind of thought that was going to be a thing. Um, that would be so fucking badass if because we're seeing Sabine rocking her Mandalorian shit, and it would be cool to hear that and like have it done tastefully where they're like, man, who the fuck's gonna help us? And you just hear Pedro through the helmet be like, I think I can help get some guys, and then it's like you hear the but
Yeah. Well, to me, it feels like
crossover
everything is.
time, you know.
It feels like everything is building to that, where they're gonna have this huge, like Star Wars series crossover event thing. It's gonna be like what DC on CW verse did to an extent. And I'm
Yeah,
not opposed to that at all, you know? Because I mean they're definitely doing a fantastic job with their storytelling and everything. At least the ones that like are relevant, you know, Andor's definitely not relevant and Obi-Wan's not relevant in that really. But um it's just I'm okay with if they do that, but it's like is that where we're going? Because
yeah,
like with you know them like they're taking that craft to where he's supposed to be like abandoned at or like kind of trapped, right?
I think so.
So like if they get it there, then that's going to be how they get him back. And
Well,
the,
it's building up. Obviously, the shit's gonna go very south because he's gonna clearly come back.
yeah,
And something that I've speculated on is it would be interesting because if they're gonna try to take these shows and flesh out the sequel movies a little more, then it would make sense to me at least that like Thrawn shows up, he's either defeated or uh or victorious against Ahsoka, however that story plays out. But if Thrawn is this big, Grand Admiral, then he clearly has a fucking fleet of ships. Like he's got a posse in tow.
right.
It would be interesting if when he comes back, he shows up at Exegol and some of those Star Destroyers that's in that big battle at the end, they kind of fleshed out that like some of that is some of the remnants of Thrawn's uh ships as well.
Yeah.
I mean, just little stuff like that, little plot, little details and everything.
Well, it's almost like how are they going to tie this into the new order to a
Yeah,
degree? You know
like,
what I mean?
well, yeah, like how, like, when are we gonna get that initial like reveal of the First Order?
Yeah. Yeah, the first order, yeah.
Because like, yeah, because in Force Awakens they're already established. They're part of the title crawl. They just show up with Kylo Ren on not Tatooine,
Mhm.
and yeah, so it would be interesting to see that build up. And it feels like Andor is gonna like do a lot of the heavy lifting for that.
Right.
I mean, I know Andor only his story is only gonna go so far, but I mean, honestly, if they do it right, the show could be more than just about him because isn't like it. No, that's Endor. Never mind. I was like, they could just make it to where it's just telling the rise of the First Order through the Imperial perspective.
Yeah. Well, and Andor's between 3 and 4, leading up to them still in the plans to the Death Star, so
Oh, it's still Empire. Damn, these
yeah.
fucking time eras, man,
I know, I know.
getting on my nerves.
And
No.
what is this like? She's has the lightsaber fight with the masked dude, and he like turns into fucking smoke monster.
Yeah, like people were like, yeah, yeah, so much for that. I'm like, could you not see that that wasn't him? Like he wasn't really there. Like,
Force smoke.
like that's what I'm wondering. Like, was that like a dark or a Sith force projection?
I don't
Right.
know. She looked kind of worried that he was killed,
Yeah.
but I think it's because they, we're losing. I gotta get over here and see what's happening. Master,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
that girl's got
Man.
some crazy eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Her face looks wild. Just
Well, like what was crazy is I had this whole theory, man, where I thought she was not the real Padawan to Ray Stevenson or Balin.
Yeah.
And
Lord
actually
Balin.
it was actually the other dude who's the apprentice. And she's just kind of like cannon fodder, more or less. But
No, that's Savine's bad guy. And then you know what I mean? They're giving
Oh,
each one of them
I
a
know
bad
what Sabine.
guy. Yeah. So I don't like I said, I'm not hating it or anything. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's just
where are we going?
Oh,
well, it's if they're gonna bring dude into this world and we're gonna get that story finished played out, that's pretty fucking cool. Like I'm down with that. But like are they gonna try to tie everything up in Ahsoka, or are they gonna like actually build it into something? You know what I mean?
Right. Because
And
like
that's
the whole big deal about it is that this is the first Star Wars story it deals with him leaving the galaxy.
yeah,
Which is cool that they got
And
him a little galaxy hopper, right?
yeah,
yeah,
right.
it really is. But I'm nervous if like this is the beginning of like, all right, we're gonna expand into, you know,
Different plot lines, different people.
yeah. Well, it's
Well,
like
not a
almost
bad
like
thing.
they'll go over to that galaxy and do the crossover event, and then come back to this one that way the canon events
Well,
maintained.
some time's definitely going to change going from there back, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're
There's
right.
got to be something there when you come back. I mean,
I mean, if they
time would
go
be
that
different.
if they go that, you know, level of sci-fi with it instead of just, oh, we're here.
I get what you're saying about are they going to build up to something though, because they got to have, they got a habit of introducing characters and stuff. Not just saying Star Wars, but even Marvel, where they just, it's like, oh shit, look who it is, and it's like, oh, he's gone already. Damn.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
But I don't know if is this Filoni?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I don't know if he'd do that. He might, you know what I
right.
mean? But this would be something that could play on something later. Like, even Mando, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
and the Mandalorians and fucking
well, if
Carl
he shows
Weathers.
up,
Yeah, everybody.
well,
Well,
she
it's
even
been
had the guys with her. So she had those dudes that helped Mando. Didn't they die? Did the fat dude die?
it was just
Mm,
him.
yeah.
That he lived?
Favreau's Mandalorian.
Whenever she's at the end and they do the jump and it destroys the ships around the green chick, she had the fat dude with her that helped Mando.
Oh,
When
the
they
Asian
ID'd him
guy.
and they're like, we'll let you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah,
Hey, that guy was
yeah.
there. But I don't remember
Yeah,
if he died or not because I'm trying to put it.
he's with them.
Okay, he
yeah,
lived.
yeah,
He's gonna be
At least
well,
two
like
of them died.
well, if you remember, that Gina Carano show they were gonna do, the Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah.
mm,
I bet him being around would make more sense, because I feel like he would have been probably her right hand man in that
Mhm.
show or something.
yeah.
I know that there's another connection he has. I think he's one of the writers or one of the. He had something to do with the original trilogy.
Well, they're
Yeah.
starting to tie a lot of people together, though, and it's like, okay, it's like
Mhm.
small world, or
Yeah.
galaxy, small galaxy. Seeing a lot of the same players.
Yeah.
Well,
But
like
what's that
what
other
makes
galaxy going to be like?
Mm.
I'm
well
excited
here's
to
man.
see that.
here's my thing. If Thrawn's in this other galaxy, then in the Mando verse, where Ahsoka shows up and all this shit trying to figure out about where Thrawn is and whatnot, then who the fuck sent Cad Bane?
Yeah, right.
Who sent Cad Bane to fucking deal with Mando and Cobb Vanth?
He got a
Because
telegram, dude.
I was sitting there thinking like, did did Bane, like who's this other bad guy going on right now?
Yeah.
I don't know, but no Cadbury egg.
Not for him.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well,
Which I think Boba Fett not performing quite like it did probably fucked a lot of that storytelling up on that end.
I mean, only do so much, you know what
Uh,
I'm saying?
I mean, that rider strike's there for a reason.
Yeah. We do have a little bit of movie news here, though. So I'm going to shotgun it real quick.
Hell yeah,
So,
double barrel.
yeah, right. So the Crow reboot has been picked up by Lionsgate and it will be released in 2024. So it says that the long awaited reboot of the Crow franchise has received a hugely promising update today as the Bill Skarsgård led movie has now been picked up by Lionsgate in a reported 8-figure deal, with the studio planning to release the movie in 2024. Lionsgate has now purchased the domestic rights to the Crow reboot, which will star It actor Bill Skarsgård as the titular Avenging Angel alongside singer, songwriter, and Honey Boy star FKA Twigs. The report comes via Deadline, who revealed that Lionsgate picked up the rights at the 2023 Toronto International Film Festival market, with CAA Media Finance handling the deal. The pact was finalized late Wednesday night, according to the report, with the intention being to unleash the latest take on The Crow next year. So, yeah, we've been talking about The Crow, and there's been so many different people attached to it. I mean, a
It's
lot of
happening.
people. Yeah, so rights have changed hands, and it is in the works.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, I
before
think,
it was Jason Momoa.
yeah,
I
and
like Skarsgård more.
Bradley Cooper was attached at one point. You know, there's been a
Cool.
lot of people. Yeah, right.
I always
So,
imagine that old Crow poster Adam used to have. It'd say
I
darker
still
than the
got it.
bat.
mhm.
I keep putting up. Please put up.
So Disney unveils a 100th anniversary Blu-ray box set boasting 100 classic movies for $1,500.
God damn.
Don't give a fuck that bad.
Aren't they on your streaming service?
Disney
Damn.
is set to dazzle generations of fans once again with an offering that encapsulates nearly a century of cinematic magic. Brace yourself as the archives open to unveil an unprecedented collection that walks you through the golden halls of animation history. The beacon of family entertainment has set forth an immense venture, inviting enthusiasts to embark on a visual journey through the ages, encompassing a period that spans from 1937 to 2023. At the recently held event, Destination D23 Walt Disney Studios Showcase, a monumental announcement echoed through the corridors of the animated entertainment industry. Disney declared the imminent release of the Disney Legacy Animated Film Collection. This grandiose assembly is not just a treasure trove of animated narratives, but also an embodiment of an era that witnessed the evolution of animation from its nascent stages to the grand spectacle it is today. Set to debut on November the 14th of 2023, the collection offers a sweeping odyssey that melds the storied past of Disney, Walt Disney Animation Studios, and Pixar. Delving deep into its archives, Disney has curated a selection that began with the enchanting tale of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, spiraling through time to culminate with the latest sensation, Elemental, slated as the 100th film in this monumental collection. Some of the other movies included in the Blu-ray set are Pinocchio, The Rescuers, The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Cars, Frozen, Lightyear, and Encanto. So yeah, $1,500 for 100 Blu-rays.
Yeah, I was just checking the list. Didn't they do 101 Dalmatians?
Yeah, I think so.
Not in here, which is
Really?
wild because they got other things. Well, they got like Pinocchio, Dumbo, Bambi.
Yeah.
Where's the Fox and the Hound at?
Yeah. If they're gonna release this, I would expect it to have everything.
That
Whenever
price
you,
tag, you know?
Yeah.
yeah. Could
Oh, they
you
got the Fox and
imagine?
the Hound. My bad. I found the full list. Been looking at it.
Says unveiling the magic within. The set welcomes you with a 3-volume narrative, unfolding page by page like a cherished storybook. Each chapter a gateway to a universe of animated wonders. This immersive experience goes beyond the joy of viewing, with the inclusion of a series of tangible memorabilia that mark moments and milestones in Disney's journey. From original theatrical poster art to a specially crafted collectible lithograph for Wish, This set serves as a portal to a rich and vibrant history. Additionally, nestled within the treasure chest is a one-of-a-kind crystal Mickey Mouse ears hat, an epitome of Disney's iconic legacy, marked with the exclusive Disney 100 engraving, serving as a beacon of the joy and wonder that Disney has fostered over the decades. Not forgetting the Pixar aficionados, a series of bonus discs loaded with extra content are included to offer a deeper glimpse into the fascinating world of Pixar animation. I want it without the fucking mouse ears, and I want to pay about $1,000 less.
Well, yeah, $500 is more like it. It'll be
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
eventually, but it does have 101 Dalmatian. So they do them in order. The year they
of
came out,
release.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, okay. I mean, it's got all the hits.
I mean, I would pay $500 for this. That would probably the most that I would pay
Yeah.
for something like this. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I feel like it'll. Well, I mean, it's limited, so clearly there's that. I mean, they're really digging in
Limited to
hard on the
what? A billion copies? You know what I
Well,
mean?
well, yeah, that's the thing. I wish they'd give more information as to what makes
Yeah.
it limited.
Is this one out of whatever?
Yeah, like,
That's
are
the
you
only way
gonna
you
get
do that.
like,
You go number
are
them?
you gonna get like a, yeah, are you gonna get a numbered set? You know,
Nope.
um, I mean, with all of the financial problems right now that Disney's having,
Time to open
because
the
like,
vault.
I mean,
That's their classic
open the
move,
vault.
right?
Well, yeah, it's like open the vault one last time, though. You
Yeah.
know, like that's kind of
Remember when
fucked.
they had to buy Star Wars? They brought a bunch of shit out of the vault.
Yeah,
Blu-ray releases.
yeah.
And then you gotta wonder too, are all of these movies in their original? Are they just upgraded for
That's what I
Blu-ray?
want
Like,
to
are they
know.
their original?
I
Like, are
bet
they
on some of the older
doctored?
one they
Or
probably use some AI because you can make stuff
Yeah.
just look a little better with it now. And what if they removed?
yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I'd like to know.
I
All you have
want
to do
the
is check the
original.
runtime.
Yeah, I want the original theatrical release.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just
Give me the film
in
grain,
the
man.
highest quality possible.
yeah, yeah. So I thought that was interesting though. $1,500 though.
That price is wild.
Yeah,
For a centennial edition of Disney movies.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if it's as robust as they're touting it to be, and the way Adam's been confirming it, I mean, on the one hand, you're getting every Disney animated film and every Pixar film ever made
hmm
to the current date. I mean,
yeah.
that's
That's
a
what it
pretty
is.
impressive collection.
yeah.
You'd kind of browse through it in the background if you want to see, but there's a thing. But I don't want to go over the list. It's 100 fucking movies.
I don't really like the design
It looks
of the
stupid.
they should have made it look like a storybook.
Well, from afar, it looks like something I would see them try to push a Star Wars collection
It
out
does.
of.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Blueprints to build a
Like,
TARDIS
so
or something.
is it supposed to be like containing film reels or something?
Nah, what would be cool? Y'all remember the book and the Robin Hood movie? Boy, if that ain't in here.
I know, right?
But Robin Hood, you remember at the beginning how the book opens and
Mm-hmm.
it starts writing on the page? If it looked like that, like an old
I
Disney
think
book.
I think they use that same trick in Sword in the Stone.
Look, let me take it back. Look, I'm gonna drop this video in here. Just look at the reason that they designed these things the way they did is kind of genius. I'm going back on it.
Is it why you can fit so many?
No,
Whoa, look at that.
it opens up in a self-standing motion, so you can like set it
Like
on
it's
your
angled, yeah.
yeah. So I kind of take it back.
Yep, they are numbered.
You know,
Are they?
they've even got a plus digital cut. plus digital codes for all 100 films. So not only are you getting the physical copies of them,
Yeah.
but you're getting codes for all 100 of them.
Well, a lot of people, what they do with that is they won't open it.
Yeah,
They'll just watch the codes for the.
yeah,
Yeah, that is cool how it stands up.
yeah. I was,
I mean, I'll put it this way: the more I look at it, the more I read about it, the more we're seeing on it. If you're a diehard Disney fan,
yeah.
why not?
I mean,
I mean, I'm a
But
fan. I'm a fan, but
not at that
I
price. Come on.
not
yeah,
if I
Come
don't
on.
want to spend $1,000 on some Mickey ears.
$1,500 for some movies
well,
you've seen.
yeah. Well, my thing is that, like, dude, just because it's all of Disney's movies, that doesn't mean that I like all of Disney's
Nah, a
movies.
lot of them
Like,
are
I
the
feel
new
like,
ones.
well, like, when it comes to Disney, because it's such a long-standing company and they have so many films, they're one of them companies you can dabble in with the choice cuts, like the ones you enjoy. Like, you have those two types of movie collectors. You have the one that collect the ones they like, the sets they like, and then you've got people that just go hard in the paint for one type of thing. And there's
Yeah.
Disney collectors, there's, Criterion aficionados, you know, VHS purists, all that stuff. So, I mean, I get the appeal. It's just I'm not in that target audience.
No, I could be, but I'm not. So,
I mean, but I don't think I'd pay $1,500 for a Star Wars thing, much less a Disney thing.
it better come with
500
a
is anything over 500 is ridiculous.
it better come
Yeah,
with a fucking Millennium
Cost
Falcon
them,
replica or Death
cost
Star.
them fucking $20 to make that.
you get a
Yeah,
free Wookiee.
yeah. So next up here, the Marvel's director fears the MCU movie could suffer from its restricted promotion. So the ongoing WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes I've seen many movies shuffling down the list of upcoming releases, abandoning a 2023 release in favor of shifting to 2024, with the belief that by then actors will once again be able to promote big films like Dune Part 2. One movie that has stuck with its planned release date of this November is The Marvels, the final MCU offering of the year for Marvel Studios. However, director Nia DaCosta has some reservations about how the box office of the movie will perform without the backing of its leading ladies. The Marvels brings together Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, as well as Sam Jackson, following his Disney Plus adventure in Secret Invasion. Although Captain Marvel is one of the biggest financial successes of the MCU's Infinity Saga, the film gained a lot of online hate, particularly against Larson herself. Now the Marvels has the task of selling itself via DaCosta rather than its A-list stars. This is something that is a worry for the director. She recently told the Abbotsford News, "I'm hoping I'm not promoting the movie by myself. No one's there to see me either. They're going to be like, where's Brie Larson?" Addressing the strikes themselves, DaCosta added that she believes there is a way for a resolution to be met, but it won't come easily. She added, "Everything that's happening is an existential search that our industry is doing. It won't be solved in one round of negotiations, but I'm hoping that the studio can end the strike soon and get us all back to work for them." All I'm going to say is like ride on this because if the
Yeah.
movie it's a win-win
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
If the movie does
Blame it
good,
on that.
it did good despite the strikes that were happening.
Yep.
People were attracted to it because of Brie Larson and because it's a Marvel movie. If it does bad, then you can blame it on that. Like this is a win-win. I don't
It
know why
is.
she's worried. It's not going to tarnish her legacy in one way or another.
No.
It's all going to come down to specifically this strike.
Well, I've
And
heard
that's that.
people on podcasts, man, and they're not allowed to promote anything.
Well, what's the
You can't
What was
promote
the
it. That's part of being on that side of the line. You can't go around and
Right.
what
and
was
it's like,
the
but this was
last
already made.
genuine what was the last genuine win for Marvel?
The last
Did you say
genuine what now?
win?
Win. Like what was the last thing they put out that was like universally taken? Was it Guardians
It was
3?
Guardians. It had to be. Right?
Well, in that time, Sony's Spider-Verse movie has came and swept the rug out from under it. We all got kicked in the groin by Secret Invasion's finale. I'm hoping like it's a solid movie. I didn't like Captain Marvel because I don't necessarily like that character. Um, but I feel like this like no promotion on it could be like I want it to have an underdog story because it would be fascinating for me to see this as the story that kind of helps lay the groundwork for how all the other timelines and shit that's going on is going to start converging because the trailers revealed that they're swapping places and universes and shit.
Mhm.
But dude,
Or
nobody gives a fuck if Brie Larson goes around, talks, does interviews.
well,
They're not
we're
watching
we're
those shits
yeah,
anyway.
well, we're so far into Marvel now with these characters that are established that it almost really don't fucking matter who the star is anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like and I mean that's not necessarily being negative. That's just like the reality of how far into the timeline of the MCU we're at now.
Well,
Yeah.
if you told somebody you're going to the theater, what are you going to see? Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Marvel, baby.
And they'll look at you like Jeremiah
They'll
Johnson,
know.
give you the nod and you'll go
They'll
on, you
know.
know?
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
it's
I think what people are probably really getting tired of as far as like from a Marvel fan standpoint is that we have it established that this whole timeline's completely janked the fuck up. Every like all the big major stuff that's come out recently has like ended with that whole like, all right, man, shit's getting out of hand. Shit's getting out of hand. Like, is this the movie that's going to show how that can be mitigated, but or how that can be like, are we going to see the secret to beating Kang get figured out with how the Marvels can figure out their little internal shit and they just learn to scale it whenever the time's right, you know?
mm, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to come and go. I think the reason why Disney isn't pushing the date back on this is because they already know the audience that wants to see this is going to go see it regardless. And just because none of these people can go out and promote it isn't going to attract people to want to go see it. I
Yeah.
mean, you could sit down Sam Jackson and he could be like, "Listen, motherfucker, go watch this motherfucking movie,"
Yeah.
and I might be like, "Eh." Still, like, there's nothing that you
Oh,
can do, you know?
I'm waiting for Disney Plus release. That's just me.
Yeah.
And there's going
So
to
Well,
be
it's
those people that do that. They know they're going to wait, but they can
well,
blame it on
it's
that though, and also save
well,
some money that they don't have to spend on promotion. I'm just saying.
oh for sure. The savings are clearly there. Um, I feel like the only thing that could help me out in terms of trying to be excited for it is if they just give us a little more footage without spoiling anything. Maybe give us a little bit more as to what's going on,
The
but
plot.
still yeah, but without giving away too much of it.
yeah.
Like
Like,
I would like to go in knowing like, all right, I don't know who the big bad is, and let that be a reveal. That would be pleasant for once, you know?
Yeah.
when you watch the trailer now, it's like the music video for Teenage Dirtbag. It's
Yeah,
like, what's going
right.
on? You know, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, if you put that song on over it, it'll work.
But yeah, this is a win-win for those guys. I
Yeah.
mean,
And I mean, the fact that they're sticking with the release date there's got to be a level of confidence in the movie, especially the time of the year it's dropping.
I think that's why they're
Uh,
doing it. What you're saying, it's like, yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
let it come out.
because
I mean, if it goes bad, then it's not on us.
exactly. So
Makes sense.
next up here, Taika Waititi reveals why his Star Wars movie is taking so long. So Taika Waititi and Sean Levy are two of the directors who will be a big part of the future of Star Wars. However, it seems that the projects of both filmmakers still have a long way to go before hitting the big screen. It seems that this is especially true of Waititi's offerings to the galaxy far, far away. Earlier this week, Deadpool 3 director Levy confirmed he was working on his upcoming story for the Disney owned franchise before the WGA and SAG AFTRA strikes hit Hollywood, which means he'll probably resume the project as soon as the conflict is resolved. However, for Waititi, things are not looking so good. In a recent video shared by Variety, the director of Thor Love and Thunder honored Levy at the TIFF Tribute Awards, and during his speech, he compared the status of both Star Wars projects. Unlike me, let's hope he manages to finish the script for that. Taika Waititi is already a familiar name within the world of Star Wars since he has participated behind the camera for The Mandalorian and also voiced IG-11, a role that earned him a nomination at the Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance. He also has a lot of experience working on big franchises, directing the two most recent Thor movies. So even if it takes him a bit longer to get his story together, he's definitely a good choice for the future saga. He's also working on developing a live action adaptation of. So he's got a lot in the pipeline.
Dude, he's
Oh,
busy.
yeah, he's got
Reservation Dogs, fucking what
that
we doing in the
soccer movie.
shadows. Yeah,
They
Yeah,
need,
he's
hey,
busy.
look, of all the things he's got going on, they need to let this motherfucker cook on Akira and let him take as long as he needs
yeah,
Well, dude,
to
there's already
fucking.
another trailer for Our Flag Means Death, and he stars
yeah.
on that show. I didn't drop it in here last week because, spoiler alert, you know? So that drops in
Well,
October, season 2,
well,
by
my
the way.
my thing about Akira is
Well, he's
that is
cooking. He's
this
got plenty of time.
was is he gonna keep the laugh sauce out of it though?
Probably not. It'll have moments.
Oh, I mean it like the friendship moments, absolutely. But like whenever that movie goes off the deep end, it stays off the
Dude,
deep end.
I'm currently watching 3 things that he's the producer on.
Yeah,
And it's because they're coming out every week.
yeah,
Like right now, I'm like, this motherfucker's busy.
yeah, for sure.
You got to get it in, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, but I mean, it makes sense why he's taking his time and let him take his time because we don't know what the landscape for Star Wars is going to be like in 5 years. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that could shift and change that um, it may cause him to rewrite, or whatever. So we'll see. So last up here, studio heads blame each other over strikes. AMC cuts a deal to keep filming shows. So it's been over 100 days since Hollywood writers went on strike, demanding better pay, more job security, and guardrails on the use of AI. Meanwhile, Hollywood actors have now been on strike for over 50 days, more or less bringing the entertainment industry to a standstill. We're still getting new movies and TV shows, but only because the studios had them in the bank. After the strikes are over, a lull period is now inevitable. And unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be an end to the strikes in sight. The Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers made an offer to the Writers Guild in August, but the writers rejected it, saying it was neither nothing nor nearly enough. The Writers Guild made a counteroffer a few days later, but the AMPTP has yet to respond to it. According to Deadline, there hasn't been any meetings since then. There was also a meeting between some of the major Hollywood CEOs to see if they can get their shit straight. By the sound of it, those CEOs are a bit of a loss, are at a bit of a loss as to what to do. There's a lot of finger pointing. They're paralyzed even as the clock is ticking. And it's Ted's fault, Iger's fault, even Tony Vinquera's fault, depending on who you ask. One source said, naming Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, Disney CEO Bob Iger, and the CEO of Sony Pictures. It's not helping the situation or anyone. According to one source, Iger and Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav are particularly thin-skinned and are stunned by that they have been vilified by the guilds and their members over the past few months. This is despite the fact that these men are raking in hundreds of millions of dollars while writers on major shows have to drive for Lyft to make ends meet. It's basically a room full of people like this trying to understand why people need money to live. So yeah, we could be here for a while, especially since these guys are so used to fighting against each other. They find it very hard to put aside their differences and come to consensus, especially when the consensus involves treating their employees well. These guys are worried about what comes next after the strike, said another source. Remember their competitors, they're always thinking about how to best each other. The strikes don't change that. Meanwhile, some studios are cutting deals with the striking workers to keep filming despite the strikes. For instance, the AV Club reports that AMC came to an agreement with the Actors Guild to keep filming the second season of Interview with a Vampire, as well as the Walking Dead spinoffs Daryl Dixon and The Ones Who Live, which see the return of Rick and Michonne. We don't know the details of this agreement, although it should be noted that AMC is not a member of the AMPTP. These kinds of examples have been controversial among some union members, but others see them as part of the point. The unions will grant permission to film if certain studios meet their terms, which will show the AMPTP the way out of the situation, no matter how badly they don't want to accept it. So AMC cut a deal. They're going to keep on keeping on, you know?
I can't wait to see the scripts that come out of the pause. You know, when
Yeah, 'cause
people
these-
are able to like take a, you know, not go to work, it's like, well, they're not going to stop writing.
No, definitely
They're going to have
not.
shit, you know, ready to go when this kicks back off.
Yeah. So that's what's crazy. It's like every time we read an article, it's like, well, they were writing this or they were writing that. And I'm sitting here like, you really think that they put the pen down and they're just
Yeah.
no longer, you know what I mean?
Oh, they're writing.
Like, get the fuck out.
Some
with
good
that
shit will probably come
bullshit.
out of it too, because they're like starving. Like,
Yeah.
well, they're
Oh,
writing
yeah.
for them at this point.
Yeah.
It ain't the job. It's,
Yeah.
let me write something I want to write.
Exactly. So,
Maybe that's what the CEOs are trying to do. They're like, it's getting fucking stale. It's a snooze fest out there.
yeah.
We got to shake things up.
Give us something good, bitch.
I like how that whole article's like fucking just hating.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, look, dude, if let some fucking writer go in there and try to run a company, you know,
Yeah.
like really with no experience, that shit's not easy.
No.
You start losing, you know, that dude came in to save the day, you know, and did certain things. I mean, he brought in a gun, you know, to do whatever's going to happen there. Like,
Yep.
come on.
They just want to fucking. That's what's crazy to me. It's like you're a journalist that's probably making 1/50th of what these
Well,
people.
you can work right now.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
can't, but you're over here. You're working off of their shit.
Yeah,
Fucking
and you're
snake.
and you're over here saying, "Well, the fucking CEOs and
Yeah.
stuff." It's like, well, I mean, I don't know.
But yeah,
man.
look, but you're so well. Oh, they love it. They got something to write about.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Dude, no news is bad news for them. That's
yeah.
a little drama.
Drama alert.
But I wouldn't start all that shit talking they're doing about the CEOs and stuff. Like, it's hard to, you know, you trying to like cancel them, you know, make them strong arm them.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck with that.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
they got enough money to sit around.
The old
Plenty of
trope
shit to
of
come out. Like,
the old trope of you'll never get work in this town again doesn't exist for a reason.
That's not going to go over well. Like, AI is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Just going to be.
But yeah. It's funny that I don't know. Every time that we read an article, it's always that stance. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Fuck this.
These fucking criminals, and it's like,
Rich
oh, you mean
people.
these people that fucking worked their ass off and
Yeah.
got into this position that they got into?
You mean these
Oh, you're
people that
talking?
pay a shitload of money in taxes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
fuck them.
Crazy. But I'm ready for trailers, boys. I'm ready.
We got Sugar Street. You see this? We got Elvis, man.
Yeah, I've heard about this movie. This has got Elvis. Is Tom Hardy in this too?
I think so.
I mean, come on, dude.
Dude, I saw a clip the other day. Frasier's coming back. Like, for real.
Like Fraser.
Paramount Plus is, yeah. It was a teaser, but it was just like the song and like the image.
Yeah.
No footage. But they announced when another season was going to happen. And it was like, they're calling again, you know?
Why do you think? Before we get into it, do you think that Seinfeld just doesn't want to deal with it? Like,
Oh,
doesn't want to come back?
Nah, it ain't happening.
One off.
I think he's going to retire soon.
I mean, dude, I would fucking love it.
He'll never cave on that.
He's got too much money, dude. Like, what are you gonna do? Give him
And
a
I mean,
planet?
dude,
You know what I mean? An island or something?
They'd have to recast Kramer, so it'd be Dead on Arrival.
I think enough time has passed.
Nah,
come on,
man. Not in the internet.
Well, Jerry had him on Comedians in Cars. I mean,
right
he
after
didn't write
that
him
happened.
off.
No, not at all. That was a great episode too.
He's like, what is up with all the racism?
But I mean,
you know?
we've seen it in so many interviews though. Jerry Seinfeld wanted that show to end on top.
Oh, the classic interview with CNN, Larry King.
Yeah.
Where he's like, your show got canceled, and he's like, cancel? Oh, he got real offended.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know who I am? Do you know anything about the show? But it was time.
Oh, yeah.
But it would be cool to have a...
I just want one.
For sure.
I would love it too, but...
Just to follow, like, catch up with the game one last fucking time, man. One last time.
Serenity now. To see George again, dude.
I love every minute of it, Jerry.
Kramer bust through that door, doing that little shuffle on one foot. Oh, Jerry.
Dude, even Patrick Warburton makes an appearance as Putty.
Fucking Putty shows up.
You can even have Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. As the dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't get an invite, Jerry.
Yeah. My problem with Frasier is like the old man's got to be dead, right? The dad, and he may have died during the show. I don't know.
And I mean, we can't forget either. We can't forget either. Fucking Larry David, man.
Yeah.
AKA George Costanza.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you just want to watch more Seinfeld, just go watch his show.
I know, but still, though, man, it's just
I watched it all, and it's not the same. You don't have the player. You don't have Costanza there.
Yeah,
does it way better, Larry David, than Larry David.
Yeah,
I'm just saying he's a classically trained actor. You know, it's like he acted in a movie.
But like
and
Seinfeld is one of those shows that I knew about it growing up. I always saw it, and then the only time I ever watched it was when there was severe weather and I was watching the radar at the bottom. But I came to it late, loved it, actually paid attention to it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those shows where you could throw any random season, any random episode, just hit play,
Well, that's
and
the way
I'll sit
TV
and
used to be. You would catch a rerun. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just you're along for the ride. They don't really, they don't make shows like that anymore where you just
or it's
show
like
up
you can watch it start to finish and see an
Sure.
overarching story, but you don't have to. That
You
doesn't
ain't
matter.
gotta know the callbacks.
It's truly a show about nothing.
Yeah. Dude, the fucking genius of these writers, though, of where they do a 22-minute episode and they have 4 different fucking
Yeah.
plot threads and they all converge and overlap each other the entire fucking episode
Yeah.
and they culminate to the end of this one. It's fucking genius,
It's a
man.
punchline, man.
I have never seen anybody be able to write the way that Seinfeld writers wrote fucking
Well,
Larry
Seinfeld.
David.
Well, the thing that blew my mind too about the show was later on, I'd watched a video where they were talking about the guy who did the music for Seinfeld.
The fucking
Every time he did that, it's actually like you don't think much about it because it's that funky slap bass, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you go back, it's different every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason why is because he matches it to Jerry's stand up at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Nerd.
I just
It's
thought
just
that was wild, man.
such a ground, like, dude, I get it, people that are fucking Friends fanatics and like
Sure.
all this other shit, but nothing will ever
It's the holy grail, dude.
in
And I
the
mean,
history
dude,
of TV. Yes.
And I mean, when they did their 100 episode recap thing, and the entire thing was done to the John Williams Superman theme.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
geez.
Just hundreds of classic moments.
Yeah.
Just
No suit for you.
Dude, I remember when it was still on TV, like when it was still
Yeah.
happening.
Right.
And that was like Seinfeld's coming on.
Yeah.
My mom watched it. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, when George hurts his leg and he like tries to, he keeps leaning on it to get all that little perks at work. And then like there's that part where he gets on the little chair that takes him up the steps, and it's doing that. My baby takes the morning train.
there's a
Dude.
fucking lot of shows like that, man, that I
Yeah.
watched growing up. When you watch them now, there's just a little happy place there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It comes back to you, and you're like, oh man, I used to fucking get down on this shit.
I still feel
suck, or at least I wasn't aware of it.
Married with Children, Cheers.
Oh, dude.
You know,
man,
God damn.
the Labor
Full
Day
House.
episode of Married with Children, where Al doesn't do shit all day. Peggy's doing all the work. Al's just having sex with her at random times.
Yeah, putting metal in the fucking oven.
At one point,
What's
she's
that
out.
with the oven for a pig,
all throughout the episode, like you'll see her doing something, and you'll just hear Al off in the distance go, "Peggy," and like it's time for another round, And at one point, she's out there cleaning the fucking grill, and you hear him go, "Peggy," and she just starts crying like a kid getting whipped, like.
That's what was great about it was
He just stayed home
the
and fucked the shit
dysfunctional
out of his
family.
wife all day,
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing Roseanne had about it.
Oh yeah.
Not like a normal family,
Oh, dude.
Not everything's Full House or Step by Step.
When Roseanne and Dan, when they have that argument because Roseanne finds romancing the bone.
Oh yeah.
That shit was funny, dude.
That's where I got my love for fucking Goodman.
Oh yeah.
Like Roseanne,
He's one of the.
she's just like, but
He's one of the rare exceptions though, because like at that time period, you were either a TV actor or you
Yep.
were a movie actor. He was the rare
Oh,
exception where he broke over. You know what I mean? Like,
he yabba dabba dude the fuck up out that show.
yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And just did it. Like there was just something. He was one character. I mean,
Well, without that
let's be
dude, we
fair.
wouldn't have
You know,
we wouldn't have got Donnie. You're out of your
it was the
element.
Dan Connor show, but
yeah,
he was my favorite character.
yeah,
But that's like with Al Bundy, it was the dad character.
yeah,
But Al Bundy just it was a dark. It's kind of dark. Like
yeah.
there ain't
Oh, it
no
was
food. The sister's a
oh
slut.
oh, dude. The one of the I
The
remember
neighbor's
one
a
of
cuck. I mean, really, come on,
well,
right?
dude,
Yeah.
it's funny you say that because I always thought there was an episode of Married with Children I watched that I always thought was super dark, and it's the 4th of July episode, and Al's all pumped because he's like, we're gonna grill, we're
Yeah,
gonna cook out and everything. Well, they're one thing or another, and they're like they're out there trying to clean the grill or something like that, and Al's like, hey, don't dump those ashes. That's my secret recipe.
yeah,
That's how my
yeah.
burgers get the char. And a couple things happen, and somebody has ashes of one of their relatives over there, and like the ashes get mixed up in the charcoal ash. And they still cook burgers, and the episode ends with them eating burgers cooked over the ashes of a dead person. Like that's the way the episode ends, and I was just like, and the whole time they're all like, "This is the best hamburger I've ever had, Al." And the whole time Peggy won't fucking touch it 'cause she knows she's the one that did it.
That's anytime like because he goes like, dude, he fucking hates women,
Oh yeah.
and he's got like a no women club, right? What's it called?
The Woman Haters Club.
That's something like that.
Well, like, dude,
But it's
at the
all like little rascals as fuck, you know. But
at the
works
beginning,
at a
man.
shoe store,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
That's
like,
why
dude,
he hates them.
well, think about this too, man. The beginning of the show, when it's doing the whole love and marriage, he's just sitting there on the couch, and everyone's walking up to him, and he's just giving them all his
Yeah,
money.
the
Like,
hands in the pants. That was always the way that he would come home, sit down. He would line it up. Now I can relax. I'm trying to watch the Cubs, Peg. Great show.
Oh yeah. But I'm ready for these trailers though.
let's do it.
I forgot all about them. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Got a new voice. It turns out that's the Bane voice. It's just not muffled.
Mhm.
That bears. Kind of Hell's Angel. Burn it down. DTW.
Yeah, I want to see that.
guy
That
that
looks
wrote
amazing.
the guy that wrote Mud wrote this.
Oh, okay.
Looks good though. I never thought about a
Yeah.
biker gang out of Chicago. I just don't think biker gang when I think Chicago, I guess.
Now that's how you do a Sons of Anarchy prequel.
Yeah.
It
Put Elvis
looks.
in it.
That trailer was better than all of those seasons of Sons of Anarchy.
Damn.
I mean,
Am I wrong, Trav?
you're not right.
I
You're not
knew
wrong.
not to watch it like when I would meet Sons of Anarchy fans.
Oh yeah, right.
I was like, it's a certain, you know what I mean by that. I'm not talking about everybody that liked it, but there's a certain group of people you get around that watch that show and it's like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
It's definitely a show I would say where its fandom kind of ruined it.
Well, it's the same
yeah.
people that finished The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Really?
Ooh, that's low, Adam.
It's the same people.
That's
Yeah.
low.
I'm like, you're still watching that?
The best
Yeah.
part of Sons of Anarchy was Walton Goggins as a transvestite. That was the best part.
I mean,
Genius.
I might
There's-
check it out for the GOG.
there's some gem episodes.
Yeah.
And it had
But-
Peggy.
But I mean, dude,
Yeah.
there's always blowback for the blowback.
Always, dude.
You guys ready for fucking Thanksgiving?
Yeah, dude. I want
It's a
some
fucking-
turkeys
dude,
and
it's
dressing.
like a serial pilgrim.
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
what?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
it's the movie based
Look at
on the
his hat.
Grindhouse trailer, man.
He's like, pilgrim this. You know? All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Check him out.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Sony has put this out.
Jason Sudeikis looks rough.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they're like, you won't know?
I
more-
love
We'll give you
I
no.
love that they are slowly bumping out these Grindhouse trailers and actually making them into movies.
Yeah. I'm more interested in watching that than the new Saw movie,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you don't need 9 others to know what this one's about.
I don't need 9 others to know what that new one's going to be
Shit,
about.
Thanksgiving
I
happens
mean,
every year,
hey.
though. Don't. They're like, don't. If it makes money, that's kind of
I
cool
kinda-
though. That it's like a pilgrim. That's you know.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of wish they would have just played the old one, like where it's like Thanksgiving. The dinner is set.
Yeah,
The chicken has been cooked.
it's a turkey,
Um,
but
All we need now is Rob Zombie to actually go through and make werewolf soldiers of the SS or something like that.
Yeah.
Werewolf women or some shit.
Murder at the End of the World.
I'm pretty sure this
Okay.
is a TV show. But
I'm down.
you know,
Okay, dokie.
all right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Heartbreaker. Is that MGK?
No shit.
He does kind of look like MGK,
Right.
but that's Clive Owen. Something's happening. The edge of the world.
I mean, FX gave us devs,
Yeah.
so maybe there's some weirdness going on, you know?
Oh, there's some weirdness.
There's some you know, little strange permeating there.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's got Mark Hamill.
So Mike Flanagan did this, who's the guy that is trying to get the Dark Tower series off the ground. And he's trying to I think he's trying to use this The Fall of the House of Usher. I think he did a couple of other ones, Poe Works, for I think it's for Netflix.
Yeah, this is the Midnight Mass guy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's trying to use this as his way to like, cuz he did, I think he did the second Shining movie. And he did,
Dr. Sleep.
yeah, Doctor Sleep, and he's working on adapting some of his short story material, but he's trying to use this Poe stuff to be like, hey, this is what I can do with Poe. Give me a shot at King. Like
Man,
yeah.
you're far more hopeful on that shit than me, dude.
Well, I think if anybody at this point's got a
Mm.
shot to do it and do it
I mean,
somewhat
dude,
correctly,
Dr.
yeah.
Sleep was pretty good. Come on.
I mean, yeah.
We gave it a, give him a chance.
Well,
At
I mean,
least we're getting something.
Frank Darabont of all people was trying to do it. And granted, King was like, man, let someone else take a crack. And if there's anyone that could have nailed it, Darabont probably could have.
Yeah.
Like, there's been competent people join and drop out of the attempts to make the Dark Tower into a series. And I mean, consider me part of the faithless, dude, because I just I don't I just don't see it happening. But I mean I'll always, have a little glimmer of hope. But
they did a movie. Probably didn't think that was gonna happen.
No.
But yeah,
But yeah, I'm ready to check this out.
Yeah.
All right. Are they talking about the singer? All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
It's Vader time.
That one motherfucker looked just like Sam Neill, don't he?
Yeah.
A little older, but I like it. Hamill playing a detective. Mm. Eight episodes.
I mean, it looks great, right?
Drops October the 12th. Oh, the whole series drops too. Sheesh.
Binge it.
You might have to get it, peep.
Well, it's time to play, nerd.
Yeah. Trying to listen to your useless chime, worthless chime-ins.
Totally killer.
It's a Red Band trailer.
Ooh.
I didn't even check it. I just saw that. I was like, Red Band. Brian Red Band. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Happy Place.
Yeah.
Oh. What kind of mask is that?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know.
Uh-huh.
In the 80s, you know?
Yeah.
It's fucking Max Headroom.
Yeah, right.
The mask is Max Headroom. It gets points for that alone. The way that guy shook his head, yes. She ain't wrong. All right.
I mean, it looks like a fun little,
Yeah, a little time travel, little hot tub time machine.
little comedy horror.
Max Headroom, that's funny.
Yeah, right. The elderly.
It's like, wonder what this is about. Nah, there's a curveball.
It's Benjamin Button rules.
Maybe.
I'm down. I like them button rules.
It's actually the most wholesome film ever made.
Probably, yeah, like Bagger Vance.
Ooh.
Like the young people make the cookies for the grandma in this one.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, it's fucking Dark Star. I don't know, man.
Shortwave.
Ooh. Fuck
It's a
that.
spicy meatball. She's like, it's too goddamn hot.
Yeah.
jumped out the window. Her grandma's showing up like, you better not make an OnlyFans. I can see you, you know? Mm.
Not what I was expecting so far.
Yeah, well. Wrong.
Doesn't look bad. I have to put that in foreign film February.
I hope I can remember the name. Oh, what we got here?
Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Now. All right.
I had another movie that was kind of slasher style like this, but this one, I was like, nah, this one.
This takes the
Like, we
cake.
can't have two. This one, this dude's running around with a fucking lamb head on. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Somebody watched Tusk.
Mm-hmm. I'm totally down to watch this.
Not the sequel to Lamb I thought we were going to get.
Ada.
I'm kind of excited about this.
The Burrow.
Dude. Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones?
I know, right? This is, yeah. I'm excited.
All right.
No Country.
Yeah. No Country for Clones.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding. 3, 2, 1, play. How does he look younger?
I know.
I'm in. This is gonna be so good.
Yeah.
That guy looks old now. Look at him. They'll give you the 8 when you hear 100 million. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
family. Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is No Country for Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Snowballs chasing hell. Down to watch that.
Yeah, that looks great. A little bit. I thought it was going to be like a serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially when it was like based on true story.
Yeah.
I was expecting, Your Honor, you know.
Yeah. What we have here, Your Honor.
I thought
But,
Tommy Lee Jones was going to be a lawyer. Like,
I thought he was going to be the judge. I was like, all right, slick, you know?
yeah. Overruled, you know.
Now, this is what I'm excited about.
Ain't much of it.
We got Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell. Mm.
I'm about to do the Russell hustle. That's what
Don't
this
even
is.
get me
He was
started.
like, all right, son, we're going to get here. We're going to Russell hustle.
Says it will premiere globally on Apple TV Plus on November the 17th with the first 2 episodes, followed by 1 episode every Friday through January the 12th.
Well, they dragging
Damn.
that out, ain't they?
They want to keep that subscription.
So
I can't wait to give them my money.
Yep.
November the 17th. So we get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes. That's pretty good.
So, I think will we be podlocking on it?
I think we have to, right?
I mean, I'm trying to see if they're giving us a time. Nah. Like the length.
Oh yeah. I
I
figured
don't
it'd be
see
an
no time.
hour.
I would hope,
Yeah.
especially with it being Apple. It's like, come on, you got the
I mean,
money.
it's been in production since Kong Skull Island, I believe.
Well, they took their time. And they got me with Kurt Russell. I'm already in.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't
Let's
even have
roll
to
it.
see Godzilla. Kurt
Right.
Russell? All right, 3, 2, 1, play. That's John Goodman.
Mm.
10 hours, hopefully.
I mean,
It'll
god
probably be around
damn.
like 45 ish, 55 minutes each with the credits.
Here's the synopsis. Following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco, and the shocking revelation that monsters are real, Monarch Legacy of Monsters tracks two siblings following in their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. Clues led them into the world of monsters and ultimately down the rabbit hole to Army Officer Lee Shaw, played by Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell, taking place in the 1950s and half a century later, where Monarch is threatened by what Shaw knows. The dramatic saga spanning 3 generations reveals buried secrets and the ways that epic, earth shattering events can reverberate through our lives. That's kind of genius.
Yep. I
That's
saw it too
fucking
with the
brilliant.
astronauts coming out. They had
Yeah,
the mobile home there. It was,
yeah.
so it's like, oh, okay.
That's fucking.
I think that was him too, walking as one of the astronauts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
So Wyatt Russell is going to be playing young Kurt Russell.
Genius.
That's amazing.
It's called the Russell Hustle.
Oh, they're giving us the Russell Hustle.
For sure, dude.
Yeah.
God, I hope they're an hour long, dude. That's 10 hours to build off
I
of
know.
that. It's
Yeah.
excited.
So, and this is going to be taking place after King of the Monsters, right? Like before Godzilla versus Kong, maybe?
Yeah.
Because Godzilla versus
Well,
Kong
at
was.
least the flashback. We're
Oh,
seeing the
yeah.
older version of him, but we're going back and seeing stuff that's
That's building up to Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we're building up to Kong Skull Island on one side because that was in the 70s. And on the other side, we're seeing the aftermath of King of the Monsters leading into Godzilla versus Kong.
Fap.
Yeah, that's pretty
Or
fucking crazy.
Or I wonder if because clearly we're gonna get some Godzilla action, which
Oh, yeah.
I'm very surprised about that.
Well, it
Yeah.
looked like it was the 1950s because of the way the woman was dressed.
Yeah.
Just looking at her clothes, that was early.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder if if maybe if we don't get necessarily a prequel to Godzilla versus Kong, but we get a timeline. Because if it's going to be an hour-long episode, we got 10 episodes. That shit's going to straight line up with it,
Yeah.
Like maybe we get another perspective of the Godzilla Kong battle.
Yeah, right. That's fucking cool, man. I'm excited about that.
Oh, for sure, man. Probably the most hype thing that Apple has put out, for me at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sheesh.
Sweet dreams.
I saw this a little bit ago and I had to add it to the list because you'll see why.
Oh, yeah.
Cue the sound.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Notice the aspect ratio. Already weird, but beautiful.
It's almost like we're watching a Salvatore Ganacci video.
Mixed with a little Salvador Dali.
The way they sampled that cough is
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, what the fuck?
Like I said.
I guess I'll go home now.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Trav, you remember the teaser where the guy had the video camera?
Yeah.
Full trailer.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'll say this before we do it. Not what I thought it was going to be, but it makes sense.
I was like, please watch it in full screen, bright and sound.
I'll even go up to 4K. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll get it as high as. Yeah. All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Mm-mm.
It felt too real from real to real. So they're making a movie. Here comes the star. Mm. Okay. Huh. Hey. We have to watch this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, come on. I find it interesting they used a song with English.
I want this song to play when I go grocery shopping.
It's kind of got a little Django vibe with the
yeah,
kind of Tarantino. I mean, I'm gonna put that and check it out.
yeah, that looks pretty
Right.
good.
They're making a movie. I think. We're getting a little pile of, I call them Bollywood movies. I was corrected once, but I don't care. That's
What
what
are
we
they?
call them.
What are they
I
supposed?
just it was because of the language and where it was from. And it's like, well, to me, dude, if it's got a cop in a brown uniform
The
and they're
mustache.
yeah, with sunglasses, sometimes a little hat, a little
Yeah.
raspberry beret, you know, it's a Bollywood flick. And there's a song. Come on. That dude was like, the director was like, there has to be act drama. It's a movie. And he went, hey, and just kind of,
Him and me.
yeah, that's what he did. Fucking Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. But was it? Was it the
Mm,
last?
Dead center
Was it the last?
of Indiana Jones month.
Well, it's got Sean Connery.
We're at the
Yeah.
bullseye, guys.
Can't wait to see the next chick they add. I think that's he's a
Got to.
playboy. He never bangs them,
More of the trumpet motif.
but can't wait for that and Ahsoka.
Yep.
The bullwhips in the mouth.